I feel lethal. I think my mask of sanity is about to slip.
It's diversity and degeneracy in Hollywood to sow seeds of despair. That was the thing that I wanted to get across. I don't think I said
part
it
of that
very
is
well.
art. I get it. I mean, and a part of it is, a morality of people that live in a fantasy world. I mean, they live in a real world, but it is a fantasy world.
Well, yeah, to be creative, it probably does benefit you to.
Yeah, you're an iconoclast. You tear down, mores and, and you push beyond. You can't make like a Mayberry RFD type movie, like a real feel good family, because nobody would really watch it.
Yeah, you have to earn it.
Well, I mean, it's got to be
something.
it's got to be provocative, or it's got to be compelling, or it has to
Be postmodern.
yeah, or have some type of edge or something. I mean, they are I don't know if they're anti-family. I mean, but think about the length of marriages in Hollywood. I mean,
True.
someone who's been married like 15 years. I mean, oh my God, that's so rare. For like major stars.
Yeah. Well, do you feel as though it is like a league of gentlemen in that, like Mel Gibson talks about, where they're in the sick shit, kind of the elites of Hollywood,
Probably.
the Weinsteins. I think
yeah, he
even more
was.
provocatively, like that. It's kind of a club where it's like, okay, you have to prove your, would it be malleability, your to be malleable.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'm sure.
So they can coerce you into whatever.
Okay.
And covering up like that. It's like there's a party line, and it's like Hollywood is the circle, the inner circle, the secret society.
Right.
I
mean, hey,
think there
look,
would
if
be
you're
any
rich and
credence
good
to that?
looking, you're going to do crazy shit. You're going to have fun. I mean, they do. I'm sure they do that. I mean, Weinstein wasn't really. I mean, he was protected for years, but I mean, he was a predator. But there was no like weird kind of eyes wide shut type thing he was probably involved in. Maybe he was. I don't know. He was just your baseline
Yeah.
predator.
Well, the eyes wide shut. Eyes wide shut is something that I want to get to.
Yeah. Which, who knows? I don't know. There's people that eat. There's literally you can eat human flesh. I believe they're dead, but there's people that get together. I mean, people do all kind of weird, crazy shit, and I bet Hollywood has more than their share of people doing outrageous.
Army Hammer, allegedly.
What about him?
He, yeah, there was cannibal rumors about him.
Okay, I did not know that.
Just funny. Kind of funny.
I don't know why it's funny.
I don't know. Well, the details were he wanted to be in a relationship where he could. I don't think he wanted to kill his partner. I think he wanted to eat their flesh, though. And then when that came out, he started not being cast
Dropping
anymore.
like a stone.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird. I mean,
Dropping
it is.
an honesty
It must be
bomb.
way beyond, like weird or like crazy wild sex. That's
Yeah.
like,
It's,
what are you gonna do? Cut my fucking thumb off, or you can't just take a bite out of me?
To your point, so
But what's the purpose?
you
of
were
that?
talking about kind of an art that it does lend itself. I mean, and I appreciate like avant-garde stuff.
Yeah.
And that there's like a mindset where there's like the starving artist, but also I think there's a tendency, and I think it's easier, honestly, to imagine it through like an actual, like a painter, like that type of artist. Because then it's just the individual. Art is such a team thing, but maybe to look at the executives, but that there can be romanticizing of like mental having bad mental health, in that it's like, well, that's my power. Like, I can show this the dark stuff that only I am privy to because I've let my mental health deteriorate. And then the upper echelon, the elites, the producers, whoever the fuck they are, the people in control, it's like, I don't know if it's so much they find it as like, oh, this is my edge, but they've become maybe so jaded or whatever, they just very callous.
Yeah.
Or maybe they see it as like an arm of what they're really after. It's like a means to achieve something. And maybe that would be the disrepair of society. Who does that
Possibly.
benefit? How does that benefit? I mean, there are I don't know.
There's a lot of different political. I would say it's very liberal. It's highly progressive. They don't like traditional capitalism. Most of them, although they are the
capitalists.
Yeah, pinnacle of capitalism.
Right. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but like, you're a very grounded and down to earth person. So like, it's a cockamamie idea, but if there was not a complete fallout of society, but if people are renting forever, doesn't that would benefit like large investment firms like BlackRock or Vanguard and the other one? You know what I mean? Because like,
sure,
obviously, if you're a bank and someone's buying their home, like, you get all that interest. But if you have property that they're renting from, you're basically getting like your mortgage paid for. Then you have all that equity, and then you have resale value, where it's like, if everyone's renting, that's really good for you, and that's like a major part of their, like, their portfolios now, as they're trying to buy that up. Long story short, if society is kind of a mess, and people like me are renting,
right,
and I do that until I die,
yeah,
that's beneficial for someone who has a large part of their portfolio made up to be that.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. I mean, and there's other folks who benefit more from home buyers. Those are the people that sell refrigerators and washers and dryers and do home repair and do windows. And
but are they the major players? I think it's the people who are diversifying their huge portfolios.
I think
with
you
real
think
estate.
it's chicken and the egg. It's like they're going where they think the money's going to be. They're not. There's no. I mean, I don't know how they could.
Would they tip the scales?
Deflate wages and increase costs enough that people have to rent.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they can exercise that type of power.
Or if they subliminally message us through movies to be bad people. Is it possible that
they've looked into subliminal
TV,
stuff?
Maybe not even subliminal, like literally in your fucking face.
Yeah, and it does,
And I hate the way I'm talking right now, because I love violence in movies. I love bad characters.
Because they sell. People want to see that.
Yeah.
It is escapism.
I don't even think it's so much that like, I don't know. I don't see problems with the movies I like.
Right.
I think it's generally mainstream entertainment has stuff that the unwashed masses would appreciate.
Or influenced by.
Yeah, like the doys.
Well,
if you're listening to this, I think you're a
folks,
step. I think there's a lot more than we.
Yeah, and they're not like. It's not that they're, and they may be of slightly lower intelligence. They have. Their lives are simpler.
And they might even make really
way.
good money.
Yeah, but I would say there's a lot that
don't.
All right. But their life is 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, 8 to 5, whatever. Come home, eat, watch some TV, do something on the weekends. They,
watch the new Marvel.
Yeah, they're watching entertainment to be entertained, and if there's something slipped in there, they'll be, to an extent, influenced by it. They don't have time to analyze it. Like, people don't have time to analyze. Like, I haven't watched a television series, not because I'm like above it. I think they're bad. I think they're poor. I mean, they're just not interesting.
Yeah, I'm new TV really, and if I were to watch something, it would probably be. I mean, I haven't seen like Breaking Bad. I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
You have or have not?
Have not. I haven't seen Sopranos.
Nope.
Those are probably
Those are the
places I
better.
would
Those were the
go.
good ones. The very
Those
good
are
ones.
considered some of the best.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Chicago Fire,
But that's also the thing. Like, and I bet if I watch them, you always underestimate the things you don't know. You know what I mean? I bet if I watched them, I'd be like, "Holy fuck, these are awesome." But to think that those are the best is kind of like, well, then there's certainly tiers too.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it is really movies is the top tier. And I think it's because the potency of what you can receive in the time is, you might have like a 2 episode stretch of television that is amazing, movie-esque, but you had to set it all up, and it could have come from like 2 seasons building up to that.
Right.
We're getting slightly off track. I don't know. I think there is a nugget of something there, and hopefully some of you commenters might have an idea of what I'm trying to say. But the pushed diversity at the cost of money, it makes me think. It just makes me wonder what the fucking motive is. You know what I mean? And it might not be nefarious, but it's a strange nut to crack, and I'm not quite sure I know. What?
No, that's legit. I mean, that's the push for diversity is. Well, I mean, it's a political movement, and those people who generally work in Hollywood are ardent believers in it. So, I mean, if they feel that's the right way to be, and they're on the right side of history, and in a way, they feel like they're a rebel, or they're doing the right thing, and that's a good feeling, that you're virtuous. I don't think there's anything. I mean, they may be trying to. You could sneak in some subcontext, a way to make diversity seem more desirable. Like X-Men, like you said, that was about gays, right? X-people, right? X-Men. I mean, there were people who were different, but I mean, there's a semi-parallel there. That's a big stretch, but that's what it was about.
Yeah, and it seems more apropos to, I guess, just the social or civil rights movement.
What, X-Men?
Yeah.
Probably, but way more. Yeah.
Because were gays ever put in different schools? Or like segregated?
No, not that I'm aware of. I mean, they get thrown out of the army.
Oh boy!
No, please! I want to go to war.
I don't get to die in Afghanistan. Where
you gotta go home. Oh, okay.
You think they look back and they're like, "I'm so fucking happy.
I'm so glad I came out." Well, for Afghanistan,
I will say, I fucking respect the shit out of the troops, and if you're gay, I don't care. Not in a way like I don't care about you. I don't care what your sexual preference is.
I mean, it's a small part of someone's life, so what?
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that like fat people romantically.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not
Ask
weird.
my girlfriend. But troops, yeah, like I definitely support the troops.
Okay.
Do I support what they're forced to do? All of the times, no. But I think that's also patriotic, where it's patriotic to fight and die for our rights. I think it's also what's the word? Not important. It's like a necessity that you actually use the rights that they're dying to defend. And part of that is to speak out about things that you don't agree with.
Oh, right, absolutely, yeah.
But Kubrick is at the center of most of the legitimate conspiracies. I'd say the tentpole, like capstone. I don't know, like
he's involved.
The
in
major
several.
ones.
I've heard about the moon landing one.
That's the one everyone has known. But
they went so many times. I mean, I guess they could have just kept doing it, but nobody can keep a secret. Okay, nobody can. Not of that magnitude. Nobody. Someone writes a book, somebody in it, and there's not enough chatter about it.
I don't know, man. The CIA does a lot of stuff that we probably will never know. Just saying.
No, you're probably right. Yeah.
And Kubrick
Although- but
sounds
the-
like this. He seems like the type of guy who could keep a secret. Just looking at his face.
Yeah, but how big of a staff did he need to do that? Huge. So some
I
guy
don't
who's
know.
operating a boom mic 20
He-
years later,
he
he's like, I'm going to write a
probably-
fucking book and make a few mil.
Here's my thinking, is that they needed someone who was so anal and so technically sound that it was like CIA agents were doing the lighting, were doing the, I don't even know if there was audio. I don't know, from the original
Yeah.
movie.
Well, it wouldn't
The
be a
mic.
huge staff or anything. You're right. But
It's like everyone's
it
an
could have been
agent.
done. But like I said, they kept going back. You can just redo
Yeah,
it,
that's
I
a
guess.
pretty good counterpoint. But they stopped doing it for so long. When was the last time we went to the moon?
It was a long time ago. It's just that like, where people were like, "We're going again." You know, it's like what
yeah,
we're going to
we
do now?
should.
Put a golf course up there?
Because could you fool me?
Well, I don't think the government's
You know
in
what I
that
mean?
type of business to
Could
try.
they fool me?
Well, I mean, if they
Now
want
they
to
have AI, so they probably could. But
right.
CGI.
You keep talking. Fucking me up. Fucking my brain up.
The thing is, 2001 looks much better than the moon landing. I get why they're like, hey man, that film was pretty fucking good.
Well, obviously they wanted it to look the way that it did.
The moon landing, if it
Yeah.
was faked, right?
Right,
Because if it
yeah.
looks so shit, you're like, it
Yeah.
doesn't even look good.
Right. It lends authenticity to it.
Yeah. And everyone looks at the moon. They're the MythBusters episode. As,
But the flag and shit like that.
yeah, they're pretty much like, it's true. They went. Nothing. But if they could pay Stanley Kubrick enough, they could pay MythBusters enough.
Well, I mean, they're not the final. I mean, they didn't do the acid test. On whether or
Held
not-
sway over me as a little kid, I'll say that
Well,
much.
yeah, it did, but I mean, more likely than not, they did. You know, but at this point in time, it's like almost who cares?
If they faked it,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a big deal, I think. Like, of distrust towards the government. We're kind of at an all-time high, and if that came out now, I think people would be like, I don't believe anything they say.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe we
Well, in that
bombed
respect,
Iran.
yeah, okay, I guess. In that respect.
Like, it would kind of make us think, like, are we living in, like, a Soviet system, like that level of propaganda? Or, like, a North Korea? I mean, we have communication at the outside with the outside world. Sorry, but I don't know, man. What if their level of illusion is so next level that when you think you're communicating with people that are out of the country, or when you think you're leaving the country, you're not?
That's a big conspiracy theory. So we're in the Matrix.
We're putting the tinfoil hat on. If you got, I mean, I hope you
Come up
buckled
with,
the fuck
hey, you know,
up.
we're going to be talking about some conspiracy.
Some of these are going to be
theories.
so retarded, you're going to probably never want to watch them again.
But if you have any cool ones, comment on them or send them out to us and stuff like
I
that.
have a few. There's a lot.
We'll talk
with-
about, just kind of go through a
Kubrick has
list.
two more. Kubrick has two more.
Okay, well, let's.
The Shining is an admission of guilt for the moon landing.
How?
There's just like weird visual clues. For one, the boy wears the. There's a whole documentary about all the clues. It's called
Okay, all right.
Room 237. But
Because that's 237,000 miles from the Earth. I think that's what it is.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, why did he use Room 237? I don't know. And in the book, it was 217. Why did he change it? And then why is the boy wearing an Apollo 13 thing?
Because kids did that back then.
I didn't.
The
biggest one, though.
You're like, that's 20, 30-year difference, there, Chief.
15-year difference between when I was born and when the movie came out.
Okay, well, the kid wasn't a baby. Your kid was
How
like
old
8.
was he? 8, 23-year difference. Fashion doesn't change.
Yeah.
The big
I
one,
saw someone wearing an Apollo 13 shirt just today.
The big one is Dad Man, and this is probably the one that I think has the most credibility to it, is the Eyes Wide Shut. That people in power killed Kubrick because of that movie.
What did
actually-
he showed that they were into?
Well, they did cut 23 minutes from the movie.
Well, that's
Apparently, the day before he died, he was having a huge argument with someone over the cut, like the final cut of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He was pissed at what they wanted to take out. And it's his final movie. I mean, the dude in Eyes Wide Shut is still great to a masterpiece. Some people's favorite Kubrick film. Mine's 2001. But, I mean, if anyone has cachet, Stanley Kubrick, even as an old man, had cachet.
He did, but the execs are still paying the bills.
I know.
I mean, at the end, it's like they didn't want to piss him off, but they wanted... Because they always want movies, almost always want them shorter.
Yeah.
And, like, granted, we don't know what they cut, but that's generally... Well, back then, I don't know what they did back then. I mean, now they got director's cuts and all these weird things, but I don't know if they did. Probably then.
I don't
But
think
he died,
I don't
so-
think they did it with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that there probably are. I mean, look at Epstein. That's kind of a Eyes Wide Shut party. What was going on at Epstein Island?
Yeah.
I think what he was probably trying to expose is that they keep people in line via blackmail.
Okay.
With sex
Sex.
parties.
Yeah.
I mean, that is Epstein.
Diddy
to a
did
T.
it. Yeah.
Diddy. Who the fuck else do you think? I mean,
Well, nobody knows how where his money came from. Nobody knows.
probably came from the Mossad. Because,
Oh, my God.
dude, what's her name? The chick? Her dad was a Mossad agent. What's her name? Jerkel?
Ghislaine
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Well,
He said Ghislaine.
Jizz woman. He was a publisher. Did you know that? I mean, he was like a
Who?
major publisher.
Epstein?
No,
Oh, the dad.
yeah, a
Yeah.
big time publisher. And then what he did, he was involved in a huge financial scandal. Now, I mean, some of those guys could be in Mossad, you know, and that's their cover. Although he was very well known. I don't know, he was a publisher, you know. And he may have done some stuff for Mossad, but that would have helped Epstein.
Well,
I guess.
think of the powerful people that they had dirt on.
Well, I think
a lot.
I think he just.
Like everyone. Stephen Hawking went there like 13 times.
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, the wheelchair guy.
I know who he is.
He's like the modern day Helen Keller, in that he was not the person we think him to be.
Oh.
You ever hear? There's footage of him communicating before he had the text to speech thing. I'm just not buying that someone could understand what he was trying to say.
Was you heard it and you didn't
Yeah.
understand it?
And I get it. Some people are like, my doctor's writing is terrible, but the pharmacist always gets the order right.
Well, I've been around people with real bad speech impediment, and there's people there I've maybe got one word out of that, and they're like, oh, I understood it. I mean, if you're around that person enough.
Do you ever think they're lying though?
No, people don't lie. Generally.
So let's spin this so that because I think you might agree with this. You ever watch a UFC where there's a foreign fighter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they'll win, and then afterwards they get like a post-fight interview, and obviously it has to be translated.
Right.
You ever think the translator's just kind of saying whatever the fuck they want to say?
Well, maybe. I mean, what?
I think that's what the guy was doing with Stephen Hawking.
Maybe. I mean, so what?
It's just interesting.
Why, why
How
was
far
he a
down the
bad
rabbit?
guy?
How?
Why
Well,
was he a
he's
bad
not
guy?
a bad. I mean, I think it's funny that he went to Epstein Island as many times as he did.
Well, I did not know that. That is, I find very unusual.
Can you imagine hearing that robot voice as like a teenage girl
Oh my God.
on the island?
That hurts to think about.
That's like the. There's a French phrase. Coup d'état.
You know what that means?
Creme de la creme.
Might be creme de la creme. Coup d'état is a, well, you know what coup is.
Toppling, yeah.
Well, it's sudden change in power. Basically.
Well,
that
I
means
would
in
I would
French.
demand a coup d'état if I was one of those people.
Well, they didn't have a lot of rights.
How
I'll tell
are
you that.
you?
Yeah, baby, do that again. Do it again.
And that's not funny, but
but I laughed real
yeah,
loud.
Eyes Wide Shut.
He went 13. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think there's something to it. That's my favorite one.
See, I didn't see the whole movie. As you well know, I watch portions of movies. What?
It's really simple. Well, he thinks that they killed a girl, too, but it's like they made him unmask in front of the whole group because he snuck in.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're gonna shut the fuck up about this
Right.
because we all know who you are.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
type
yeah.
of it just very psychological and dealing with how like these large secret societies can maintain power even if someone's trying to blow the cover off the thing, and because he doesn't want his infidelity to be,
Oh, okay.
you know,
Right.
and how much that control has over someone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um,
Well, I mean, that's Epstein to a T. He probably,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows who.
Because you always wonder, like, why the fuck, even if you went there, what this guy's doing is so reprehensible. Like, why wouldn't you just speak up anyways? But it's like, if you're complicit, then
Yeah.
I don't want to be associated with.
You're
I
going,
know it's
you're
bad,
going
but-
down, man. You're going down hard.
Yeah. It's my favorite. I'll just leave it at that. But let me pull up a few other ones that maybe
You
of
say
more.
the one I
interest.
wanted to, like, you know, the two Corys.
Corey Feldman and Corey Haynes.
Haim.
Okay, well, you want to talk about Haynes first or Feldman? Because I know
Well, I mean-
know more about Feldman.
I mean, as a group,
Mm-hmm. They got
yeah, they got
the raw end of the stick.
right.
I didn't realize, well,
And-
just because I didn't grow up during the 80s, but yeah, Feldman was in a lot of shit as a kid, but he was pretty good, too. As
I was a
kid
good actor, yeah. But I just happened to read that because that was on the list. But they were in 9 movies together. I didn't realize there were that many movies
That's
together.
a good amount, yeah.
I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, they passed them around like,
That's not cool.
no. And then they ended up, you know, especially I think Haim, the blonde-haired one, I think is Haim.
Yeah.
He really was fucked up. Obviously, from that, and, you know, became an addict, and you know, they did a show later, the two Corys, and it was like a reality TV show, and they would like. Then he got into a feud, and like, oh, you know, I know something about him, and he better, and that's what it was, you know, that they were.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Sad.
And Haim, like, he ended up like homeless, and
He's dead now, right?
he's dead now, yeah, but.
He had a rough go of it before the end, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was penniless, homeless.
Feldman is now like
He's into music.
he's like a punchline to a joke anymore.
Well, he's been that for a while. I mean, he's been trying to
Legitimize himself.
make some kind of money.
Yeah, true. And one of the examples of like it's just when the kid actor is better than the adult whatever performer, he's not not even general. I don't know. Sometimes you get better, you'd imagine, with age.
Leo was a child actor.
Yeah, a lot of people are better, but then a lot are just fucking.
Oh, he just fall off a
a cliff.
Yeah, they're just gone.
Because Feldman, he was in The Goonies. He was in one of the Friday the 13th movies. He was in Stand By Me. Well, at least Stand By Me and Goonies, he was actually really fucking good in.
He was in the vampire movie. What's it called?
Oh, Lost Boys. Yeah,
Lost
he's
Boys.
really good in that too.
It's a small part, but
Yeah.
I forgot Corey Haim was even in it.
I didn't
No. He was a bigger role. He had a bigger role.
Feldman or Hames?
Haim. He's from Canada. Do you know that?
Canadians are pretty cool, eh?
But yeah, and I'm sure there were many others who didn't even have nearly as many movies as those two did.
You want to hear a more
flamed out.
modern example is Amanda Bynes.
Oh yeah.
She is fucked up now.
Yeah.
You know, no disrespect, but I mean, the chick just looks like she went to a different planet for a few years and just came back.
I guess I haven't seen her recently. I mean, I knew she went off the deep end.
I think her eyebrows are like tattooed on. She has a heart tattoo on her face, like right on her cheek. I don't know if she like had work done to her face or if it's just she put on weight in her face.
Okay.
She does not look great anymore. And apparently she's had some outbursts, which, like, I don't know. I think if you're Nickelodeon, you should have to basically, she should be entitled to a fuckload of money.
Well, do you remember there was that one guy?
Yeah, who got nailed for it.
Yeah, he was a fat dude.
Yeah, fat fucking weirdo who was like with many. There's Drake and Josh. I guess Drake, the skinnier guy who's now like he does music. I guess he had it done to him. I'm sure there's countless people, but yeah, the childhood kind of abuse thing in Hollywood may be the secret society too. I don't think that was uncovered much with Epstein, because it wasn't actors, and I don't think Weinstein uncovered anything about the younger people, but I think they could be the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I see a picture of her. She doesn't even look anything like she used to. I don't know what she's selling here, but I mean...
And she was a rising star. I mean, she broke out into movies and was getting like a huge fan base. She had the Amanda Bynes show. Like, she could have been something for sure, you know?
It's just the flame out factor for that, though. Yeah, she was. She was huge. She was huge. I mean, like, she had her own shit, like you said. I mean, she was like 12. And she's doing all these comedy skits on her own show.
Yeah. I know, like, she was a brilliant childhood actor. All right, let's go to something in the same vein. Roman Polanski's The Manson murders were brought upon by Rosemary's Baby. So, this is going to it's a very loose connection. I'm going to try to strengthen that bridge.
Okay.
That Rosemary's Babies was making allusions to the kind of occult Hollywood elites, and that was their way of silencing him. When you look at...
Did he do that? He did that movie?
Polanski, yeah. So, you read Chaos and the Manson murders, and there's a lot of them just letting him off the hook.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They picked him, like, he never checked in with his parole officer, and he would get picked up for minor infractions, sometimes more like drug dealing.
Yeah.
Which, for anyone on parole, I don't know, if you're listening, you're probably not on parole, but if you are aware...
You probably don't want to be out hustling.
You know, if you even minorly fuck up, it's you could be going to the slammer.
Well, who knows? Maybe it wasn't... I mean, that was back in the 70s.
They were saying he was a...
Confidential informant?
An agent for them. That they knew he could...
For LA County cops?
Yeah, that he was going to be an agent to kill the hippie movement. Because after they did that, that was a huge nail in the coffin for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously the concert that the Rolling Stones had
Right.
was probably the end of the hippie movement.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what happened first, the Manson murders or that, but I think after the Mansons, because they were looked at as hippie, like flower
Oh
children.
my God, yeah. Yeah.
Them doing that really fucked it up. Because parents were like, well, I don't want my kid to be a hippie. But then you see the Manson murders and you're like, I don't want them to leave the house.
Yeah.
And if it was like a two birds, one stone type thing where it's like, we can really fuck up
Well, it's probably, I think of the FBI was trying.
CIA, be my guess. Because there was the guy who did MK Ultra was in Haight-Ashbury.
I
and
know, I remember, I
left.
read about that, yeah.
I forget. He has a really weird name. It's like Jolly something.
Yeah.
Jolly West. He was in the same building that Charlie would then go to for
His
parole.
parole officers.
Yeah. And they said they cannot get any evidence
two
that they
together.
were. Yeah. Which, if you're CIA, I wouldn't want there to be evidence of that either.
Right.
Especially if you know you're going to do something with them.
Right.
Like if he's a piece on your chessboard. We're getting crazy, but I think if you talk conspiracy theories, you don't want bland.
Well, then no one cares. I mean, it's like, oh, did you know that they changed the Cheerios formula slightly in the 70s? Well, maybe. Who fucking cares? I don't know.
Did you hear about the fluoride in the water?
Well, apparently, yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody knows there is, but... And the dosages at higher levels, it
It's not good for your brain.
reduces your IQ and your...
It's probably, like I did say, I feel like it probably has affected my intelligence. I feel like
No cavities, though.
hey,
Trade-off.
knock on wood. But yeah, it could be, and I know Polanski was in a lot of hot water for like dating younger woman.
Mm-hmm.
And weirdly, a lot of directors like spoke out on his behalf. Maybe I'm overstepping here, but it could have been something that they wanted to like completely wipe him off the map by planting the. I think it's real. I don't really actually know much about the story. It's probably all legit, but
Yeah. I think maybe he drugged her. I think.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Possibly.
Well then, yeah.
And then, she was 15.
He's probably
whatever.
just really fucked up after he had his wife
Yeah.
killed.
Yeah, that's true.
Not to excuse it, but if you do weird stuff after something weird happens to you, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's still weird, but at least
why.
it makes sense.
It's a reason.
Let's go to this. That one was I found that to be really interesting because I think there could be real, could be something to that perhaps. All right, this one. Okay, this one I actually really like. Truman Show. Okay, now if you guys have any delusions of grandeur or like you've been diagnosed as schizophrenic or you struggle with
There's probably
reality,
a lot of you out there, I'm sure.
Maybe don't listen to this next part because I'm going to try to break your brain. There's a disease of like after people watch the Truman Show where they believe the Truman Show.
That they're part of the Truman Show?
Yeah, that it's like, oh shit, that could be me.
Yeah.
What if it's the producer's way of like fucking with you though? Is that movie, The Truman Show, that they are doing that to you, and it's a subtle nod?
No.
Or it's like a reverse psychology thing where it's like, hey, if we make the movie of what we're doing to this guy, it'll throw him off the
It'll
scent.
be like, they couldn't do that. No, no.
It would be fun though.
To fuck with someone their whole life? or just
No, if they, because they're not really fucking with you. You just, or you're
under
your reality television, basically.
yeah, without knowing it. No, that's a bridge too far.
We are constantly surveilled. That's something that's
Well,
not the same, but
I mean, Truman Show was made
95, I believe.
Yeah, they didn't have that capability.
And
even now, I mean, when you're outside, if they really want to keep an eye on just you, they probably could with a satellite for when you're outside. Know where you're at from your phone. There's back doors into.
Well, have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh shit. Well,
I'm
everyone around the guy is an actor.
Yeah, I know what it's all about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a believer. I think I'm in the Truman Show.
You're not.
If you're listening,
I know you really.
I'm directing it. You're on the Truman Show.
You're not in the Truman Show.
I made this video because you were
doing
things.
What's called paranoid schizophrenia. And
I'm trying to induce it in our audience.
Well, I think you have it.
No,
that is not.
Well, this is slightly off topic, but who's a better actor, Jim Carrey or Adam Sandler?
Sandler,
They both have their great comedy careers, and then they both have their serious roles that they did well in.
Yeah. I've not seen, I haven't seen enough of their serious roles to even make a call on that. I think Carrey might be better.
Wow, is that because you like his comedy more? I think I'm a Sandler guy, and he has a lot of really bad movies. That's the thing.
Oh.
I fully admit that. But some people like his bad movies. Some people love Grown Ups. I don't get it.
That's just retarded. It's a retarded fucking movie. And then they made Grown Ups 2. I think it was
There's a Grown Ups 3, and they might be doing a 4.
Oh my god. He just got his friends together. That's what it was.
I don't blame him.
No,
if I could,
he
I would.
gave his friends work,
If I could make a movie, I would cast you.
Some people, like you say, they like it. So, I watched part of it.
I think it makes good money.
I think it does too.
Well, I don't think they're taking loss on a 4-part series.
We lost money. Okay, let's make another.
Time to double down.
This one lost more money.
Double or nothing.
Number 3 is going to be the.
But okay, so, but the comedy.
Yeah, neither one of them are very good serious actors.
They've done some good stuff though. Like Truman Show is Carrey. He also was in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, he was good in that.
He was good, but I didn't think he doesn't have a Adam Sandler-esque performance like he did in Punch Drunk Love or like he had in Uncut Gems. I thought those were dramatic performances that were pretty fucking good.
Well, for a type, he plays a downtrodden type, right? Kind of.
Well, in Punch Drunk Love, but in Uncut Gems, he's just a fucking character. He's a Jewish stroller who loves to gamble and gets himself into some shit.
Okay.
You've seen that?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, brother.
Really?
Yeah. You got it, and you haven't watched Good Time either, have you?
No.
Dude.
What is
do
that
me
Sandler?
a favor and
Good
watch.
Time?
Good Time is Pattinson. Uncut Gem is Sandler.
Okay.
Watch them both, man, and that'll be our next video. Those are
There's a lot of pressure on them.
I don't care. I'm willing to bet on those 2 movies. I really watch Good Time first, and if you don't like it, don't watch Uncut Gem.
Okay. I like
that's
that.
how confident I am in Good Time.
Okay.
Tell them down below. I know we're 50 minutes in. A lot of you guys probably have dropped off by now, which is fucked up.
Which, if you are still there,
comment below if you agree that he should watch those movies.
Yeah.
I would I'm a big recommendation guy for those two.
Okay.
Safdie brothers are top tier. But comedy-wise, though, that's where I think there's more of a debate between Carrey and Sandler. Like, I love Waterboy. Big Happy Gilmore fan. Billy Madison never really did it for me. But there's another Sandler film that's hilarious. Carrey, he has The Mask, which I kind of grew up on. I haven't seen as like old enough to really.
What's the movie where somebody brings a kid to his apartment?
Oh, Mr. Deeds. Anger Management's another funny.
No, that's not
movie,
Mr. Deeds.
Oh, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
That one's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That one's pretty funny. That's still like in the heat of Sandler's actual like
Comedy.
His mega run.
Yeah.
But Carrey, so he has The Mask, he has the Ace Ventura series. I don't know.
What else was there?
I don't know. Happy Gilmore is so... Oh, Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber is like a comedic
Classic.
sensation. That might be the best out of all the comedy movies we just mentioned.
I can't think of anything else. I mean, he's done other movies, but...
Yeah. I could look it up, but I choose not to.
Same.
I would still go Sandler, but it's a lot closer.
Yeah.
Because I was even kind of factoring in that the comedy was like kind of nose and nose. All right. The Exorcist set was cursed. You hear anything about that? I didn't know anything.
No, I remember hearing about it. Yeah. I mean, there's shit happened. There was a fire, I think, or something.
That just seemed to be a big thing. That's like because they didn't even mention Poltergeist. They said that about The Exorcist, and they said it about The Omen. But Poltergeist was the one I heard about. I think that's just a thing in like the 70s and 80s where there was a really successful horror movie. It's just like, oh, this stuff was cursed.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
people just pass away from sets.
Well, the
a
little
lot
girl died
from
in
Poltergeist,
yeah.
which is strange. I mean,
and then the hanging. You talk about the hanging Wizard of Oz.
yeah.
Did you ever see that picture?
Debunked. Yeah, I've seen it a lot. That was big on YouTube when I was a kid. But I think it's been debunked. So I wasn't going to talk about it too much, but maybe if I'm being conspiratorial, I mean, maybe the debunk was made by the deep state. What do you think?
Deep state.
Yeah. This one's just fun to think about from a sane perspective, but Heath Ledger being driven mad by, just playing the Joker having a direct and immediate effect upon his life ending.
Certainly could have. Richard Dreyfuss. Do you know that actor?
He was in Jaws. He's the guy with the glasses. Yeah,
well, he did a movie where I think he was paralyzed for the movie, and it really affected him. He went in to a real deep depression after the movie and stuff like that. So if you throw yourself into it, and I mean, it can probably have an effect on it might wear off. It may, I don't know, be permanent. Who knows? But you've got to take on like a new mindset, and you've got to really commit. I mean, and some people do, and they're able to snap out of it, and other people, maybe affect them to some degree.
Yeah, I think it's darkly romantic, actually, to think about when you consider how insanely he good that
OD'd,
role.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. It's like it's almost like there's something about Kurt Cobain and how good that band was, and knowing that Kurt Cobain was like, it's like what I was saying at the start of this. It's the starving artist, the depraved artist, the wounded artist thing, that it makes you look at their art as though it actually speaks from the soul. That they are so vulnerable, and they are actually living the product.
Oh.
that it brings
Well,
them to.
with Kurt, a big part of it, and he wrote I don't know if he wrote a letter to the girl he was,
Courtney Love.
yeah, was, I mean, they were anti-commercialism.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that just wasn't, and that's what they'd become. And that's, plus he was a heroin addict, but.
Well, I mean, that's I don't know if it was an accidental overdose with Heath Ledger, but I believe that's what did him in.
Yeah. Cobain killed himself, right, with a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spilled his beans.
He part of it is he just hated what he'd become.
I didn't. It makes sense. I just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, because he was grunge. He was, absentee father, or, you just kind of an ignored upbringing, childhood. You didn't have a group of friends that, kept you feeling good about yourself, or you felt part of something. And that, that's how I grew up, and that's, reflected in his music and kind of who he was.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I guess this isn't so much doubting what you heard nor what he said, but it's just so weird to think about someone not wanting the maximum amount of people to hear their message, or at least people who can appreciate.
Yeah, but the
message.
way to do it is you got to work with the people he despised, the agents, the
record labels.
publishers, the labels, and like, oh man, we can, they're talking money and success, and he's like, I hate that, So, and I think the only way he could do what he was doing was to work with them. He couldn't, there's no other way. And I think I got caught up in
success allows freedom. Like, you do get to. I know we were talking about Kubrick kind of getting creatively cut off at the knees, but when you are an entity, you can call your own shots to a degree.
Yeah, but I mean, I think fundamentally, he was flawed.
If Taylor Swift wants to do something, I want to act. She gets to play a role, even though she sucks at acting. No offense.
Did she ever act?
Oh yeah.
Really? In what?
I saw her in one film called Amsterdam, which was not a good movie.
Okay, I didn't know.
She was the shining star. She was the creme de la creme, the crown jewel of that movie.
And it was
She sucked. Yeah. Christian Bale was in it though. He was decent. It had a really good cast and a pretty good director, but it just sucked.
Okay.
She was in it. Coincidence? I don't know. Maybe she was white sucked, but she sucks.
You love Taylor. She sucks. Moving on.
But yeah, I don't know. I think there's something tragically beautiful about. Like, I wish Heath Ledger was still alive. Let me make that clear. But there is something tragically beautiful that he.
Well, about doing a magnum opus and then dying, because that's what Joker was.
It's poetic.
Yeah.
In a way. He devoted himself entirely to the role, literally.
Yeah.
And I think that even though, I've never done heroin, nor would I ever want to, I don't imagine that it makes you like that, but it's as a blunting force, right? I'd imagine it blunts you to the world, but it also, it's like he was blunted to humanity, that character.
Yeah. Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like it was able to bring him to see eye to eye with the entity he was trying to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's why he started or got involved in it. I mean, a lot of those guys, they just, one thing, about like actors and actresses, for instance, is, they're vulnerable. If they make a mistake, if you make a mistake at work, 10 people see it. If you make a mistake as an actress in a movie, 10 million people see it or are aware of it or whatever.
Well,
you're a human being.
But I know if you do it in the public eye, is what I was thinking.
Well, I mean, you make a movie, you may have a really bad.
Oh, true.
you have a really bad or paparazzi, you freak out at a club or whatever. I mean, normal people do this stuff all the time, but they're not, in the tabloids, or they're not, people aren't watching them in movies, so they're vulnerable, and they are insecure because I think of that. So sometimes they self-medicate because it's harder to be that type of person for many, probably most of them,
Well, Whoopi Goldberg said it's harder to be an actress than a starving child. Direct quote.
Really?
No, she said it's harder to be a black woman in America than an Iranian
woman.
Yep.
I know. I just read about that.
Truer words have never been spoken.
I think I don't know if it was black woman or just black in America than an Iranian woman, and she's insane. That is insane.
Well, her life has been very difficult. I mean, her maids aren't even there.
They got rounded up.
24/7.
Yeah. I had to run a vacuum myself.
Who does she know that's going through it? Is what I want to know.
Nobody. They don't know. They don't know anybody. Everything is theoretical for a lot of progressives. It's all theoretical. It's like, I don't know anybody who's been affected. People are being affected. Yeah, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Like one congressman said that we were human trafficking because we were taking people from here and putting them here. Well, if that's the case, anybody goes to prison
is human trafficked. Yeah.
And there's over 1 million
taxi
of them.
drivers are the biggest human traffickers in the world.
It's
Uber drivers, oh boy.
Oh my God. But I mean, for her to say that, I mean, you just have to be out of your mind to say that. You're on a national television. You have been for years. You've been in the business for 40 years.
Maybe she's a genius because it's got people talking about her, and she's
someone who I get all the time.
She's someone I forget about often. I never saw her in her good roles, and I know
she was in one called Sister Act, and it wasn't bad.
She's a nun?
Yeah.
Or is that Nuns on the Run?
No, Sister Act.
Ah.
But I mean, that was like 40 years ago. I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, was she ever really... I don't... And this was something... Look, I'm probably going to be claimed to be racist for saying this. I really don't care. Do you think that her being a black woman had nothing to do with her casting? Do you think every character that she played, they thought, okay, we need a white woman for this, and her audition was so good, they said, fuck it, we got to make her black, and we'll cast Whoopi. I'm sure there was multiple examples where the fucking role was like, well, it's a black woman. Mm-hmm. Whoever wrote it imagined it. Mm-hmm. And do you think being a black woman was the hardest thing in the fucking world whenever it benefited you in casting?
Right, yeah. I think she was a comedian.
It's fucked up to talk about when it's like a fucking comic book character who's called upon to be a white guy.
Yeah.
And we say that. It's like, well, who gives a shit if it becomes a fucking black transformer?
Right.
But when it benefits, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which it did. It benefited her.
Sure.
And that's not the hardest fucking position in the world then. If you're getting roles because of it. And I know not everyone in the world is an actor, but speak to your fucking life experience.
Right.
Which apparently you don't have much of.
Well, she does. She just ignores it. I mean, if she said, I mean, they should make her talk to
like normal people.
No, to Iranian women.
Yeah. Well, I think she was maybe the woman wasn't actually, because was the woman she was talking to about it, was she like Teen Mom, or was
I don't know.
Maybe it was an actual Iranian woman. I thought it was the same name as a girl from Teen Mom. I could be way off.
Yeah.
And which, if it was, that chick is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But she looked more put together than I would imagine this girl would look in today's day and age.
Right.
So I think she said to an Iranian woman that she said that directly to her face. Like, that's what brought about.
You can't even leave the fucking house. You don't get education beyond fourth grade.
And I don't know how real this is.
They can't go to college.
I did see video in Tehran where like they don't have to wear their headdresses. Now, does that mean that they're completely liberated? No. But it might not be as strict as it once was. Now, like in the 70s, it was a normal country.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it was
now,
pretty westernized and, you know, affluent.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's like
not anymore.
World,
huh?
It would have been a mega power by now, I think, had it stayed on that trajectory.
I mean, it would probably be like a France or...
Yeah, any European country.
Yeah. But...
and I can see, I don't know. I even though we talked about, Hollywood doing scary shit, I'm very anti, not maybe establishment, but roles. And I think if you're going to make roles, they should be beneficial for everyone. And censorship, those types of things, I think like liberty is fairly important. You know, if it doesn't upset, if my freedoms don't impinge upon yours or impede upon yours, then I should be able to have them.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like...
Now, if I'm doing fucking crack cocaine out on the street,
right,
I get that that's a problem.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean?
Right. Live and let live.
Exactly. It's the circle of life.
It's not. But
last one. This one's just kind of a quirky, funnier, lighthearted one. Do you think that Hollywood... So, this is specific to like the Beatles when they said Paul is dead.
Mm-hmm.
But these mega groups or these franchises where they have like a Tom Cruise or a Jason Statham or whatever. You know, the series is it is the Tom Cruise show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they died tragically. Would it be out of the realm of possibility to just clone him to keep the series going?
Yes.
I think not.
Clone him?
And here is...
Clone him.
We are all aware Barbra Streisand has cloned her dogs multiple times. I think that if that's like... You could do that. If you wanted to spend your money on it.
Yeah.
You and I could do that.
Yeah.
Imagine you put up 100 million instead of like 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, we need him to have the same memories and like be the same guy, basically as though he never died.
We don't have that technology.
I think we do.
No.
You don't know what type of military technology we have.
Well, you're right. But
some of the alien ships we've seen could have just been reverse engineered alien tech or shit that we just built that's so high tech we don't want to unveil it yet.
Well, I mean, there's certain things. I mean, you're talking about like
1-to-1 clone,
like taking the consciousness and implanting it into but let's say you cloned him. I mean, I think he would start out as a child. I don't think it would.
I feel as though you could just clone someone to be the exact biological age.
I don't know if it's ever done human cloning.
Yeah, because it's really unethical.
Hard. Well, I know. Well, so it is unethical, but I don't even think they could do it.
I bet they could.
But if you're talking about it, like to take the consciousness of someone who's dead.
I think you would. I don't know how you would do it. I don't know how you would keep the consciousness up to date. Maybe if you just got a biopsy. I don't know the technicality of it, but I think they would be like, "Hey, Tom,
you want to clone you in case you
made
die.
A shit ton of money. We're gonna continue to give you a shit ton of money. You're set for life. Your kids will be set for life. You'll always be protected. We just need like a biopsy of your brain. I don't know what you would need. You'd have to talk to the smart people, which at this point in the episode they are all gone in terms of commenters.
Are these people insane? Is this from a prison? they have nothing to do but fantasize about. That's no. I know there's technologies that aren't necessarily.
There's incentivization too.
I understand that, but
incentivization.
Don't make me say the word because I don't think I can.
Incentivization.
That's super high tech. That's 30 years out.
Dude, when it hits
the brain.
The marketplace, it's been out for years. You know that. Anything with medicine, especially in the U.S. Shit hits.
Listen, if they could do a mind-to-mind transfer, someone is going to report on that. Because the people who do it want it to be known that they can do it.
Where are the people talking about the anti-gravity flying machines? People
you don't know if they're anti-gravity. You don't know that.
So
could be propulsion.
The engine, no, it's not propulsion because you need energy for propulsion. If you can have something that can, what's the word, manipulate gravity, you can travel in any direction without
we don't have proof of that.
Some guy said we had it.
Okay.
In the 80s.
I'm saying we don't.
And what about the Navy guy who saw on the infrared camera the pill? Do you remember that? It looked like a pill.
Mm-hmm. I know.
That was moving at such speed, and its change of direction was
instantaneous.
Yeah.
Well, I know that there's things like that, and I can't explain them. I don't think we've, people say reverse engineer like we're reassembling a toy truck. Okay, we'd get it. Be like reverse. What are you talking about? We don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think you'd have to study it for
I don't
decades.
think it was aliens. I think it was us.
No.
The pill, yeah. I think we know how to do it.
No.
How much do we spend on military a year?
Well, you know how much
fuck ton?
How much a F-35 is? You know how much is developed?
I don't
state-of-the-art
actually
fighter
buy them.
planes?
I don't actually ever buy them. They say it's super expensive.
Oh, you think they're like
everything's
50K?
inflated.
Well, yeah, that's because you're dealing with defense contractors. And it's new. You do new things. You have mistakes all the time.
New to you.
We don't know how.
How pissed would you be if there was ships that could move? I'll call them spaceships, even though they're still in our atmosphere.
Well, that's space.
That could manipulate gravity.
I would say you're nuts.
I'm not nuts. I'm very
Overcoming a scientific fact is very, very difficult.
Well, I almost said something that would get us in trouble. Transformers more than meets the eye. That's scientific fact that's been overcome over time.
Okay, but
what is a man?
That's not.
It defies logic.
Hey, look! You could cut off a piece of my arm and put it somewhere else in my body. You have not done an actual transformation. You've done a copy of.
I do think that they could probably download your consciousness.
No, they can't. They don't even understand how it all works. They don't understand the human mind that well. I mean, they understand
the doctors that we deal with. Do you not think that there is an elite upper class that we will never brush shoulders with?
Yes. I don't think they've developed transforming consciousness.
It's not so much transforming consciousness, but they could take your biological matter, use it for cloning, and download your consciousness into it.
Well, the cloning would be the easy part, and it's not easy.
I agree. Well, what if they could do it so perfect? I don't fucking know. I don't know. But your brain is... It's like if you could print it to be wired exactly the way that it is now, would it not be... It would almost have
all
experienced the memories without actually experiencing
them. I don't know. I mean, when you said that, I think, yeah, possibly. Because all the neuron connections and on... But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think
If
so.
a conspiracy
At this
theory
point,
doesn't
no.
make you scared, it's not a good conspiracy theory.
Well, that doesn't scare me a lot. I mean, it'd be a
That
good
could
thing.
be the case,
Right,
though.
yeah.
That there,
Look, I mean, Elon
there
Musk.
could be a you who has thought they've done everything you've done in your life that you could meet tomorrow that never did anything. You know you did it. And then you don't know if you're real, if you're the clone or not.
Is this a Black Mirror episode that you're...
I think it's actually a premise of a lot of like kind of sci-fi.
It's cool to think about it. Just at this, we're not there yet. We're not there.
I mean, according to what dude, I think there's a lot of scientific research that we probably are privy
Okay,
to.
research granted, yes.
Now,
lot
is
of
this
it,
in real life? I mean, would I stake my fortune?
I would hope not.
No. But I think there's an iota of possibility. And I think where there's money to be made, that shit like that would happen. Because think about it, in the 50s, there was probably really rich people who were like, fucking Humphrey Bogart died. Or Elvis died. Elvis got fat. And then they're like, I'm tired of losing these guys.
Okay.
And over 50 years, they're like, well, we got to do something about that. And
But then there's a new person.
hey,
There's
I
new
could-
actors.
yeah,
all the time.
I could build stars, but imagine if you didn't have to build new ones. I mean, imagine if you had a Tom Cruise under your hat for the last.
People would get
40
tired
years.
of it.
Not with him. Apparently, he can come out with a new movie every year.
Okay, well,
Shit the
maybe, but
pants. Shit the pants
yeah,
over him. They love him.
he's a rarity. I will give you that. But
He's the
unicorn. Call me unicorn.
I guess he would be. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they'd never do that. Stupid and shouldn't bring it up. Making people feel stupid just by listening.
Do you have any conspiracies to wrap it up with? Any that really spoke to you?
Oh, the Mandela effect. Which I don't...
You don't get.
Well, I understand what it is.
Well, I
just
wish it
don't
wasn't
know.
called the Mandela effect, because I don't experience that one, but there's ones I feel I've definitely experienced.
Well, okay, that's just... You remember things differently.
so people were like, I thought he
That's
died
just
in prison, and
psychological,
it's like,
right.
no.
He became president of South
They
Africa.
fucking didn't they make a movie about the South African rugby team winning a
Yeah,
championship?
it was called Invictus.
Invictus, and he was in the stands.
Oh, I
So,
didn't know that. I didn't know
I
that.
think, I don't know. That's how whether that's
I don't
real
know
or
where that
not.
memory got implanted somehow into a lot of people.
Well, people, that's all they know about him. South Africa, prison, black, died. I guess I knew the president part, though. I thought he was in Invictus, and I thought that's how I knew he was president and obviously alive after prison.
Yeah.
But like the Fruit Loops, the Fruit of the Loom, that type of shit. Do you know the Mandela effect is like even more insane than any conspiracy I've had? It's realities started intertwining, and some people come from that reality, and that's why they remember that. And we are in this one.
The
and that's
multiverse. We're talking about
The multiverse, yeah.
Which, I mean, that is
I believe
a
that
real theory by really intelligent folk who come up with.
I believe in multiverses. I don't know if they could cross paths incidentally, or I guess purposefully you maybe could, but it would be akin to traveling the speed of light.
Who could control it?
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to like
If it were to happen, it's a
choose your
random.
destination.
It's a random happening. It's not. No one's making them collide or.
And do they? Okay, so here's another thing. Is it in the expanse of our universe? Is that how the multiverse is? It's almost like you're looking at things as a timeline.
No.
Linearly.
It's a different dimension.
Well, how would it make equally? I mean, if the universe is infinite, then the multiverse.
Well, they don't. It isn't infinite.
Why are they lying to me, man? You've said
No,
it.
I mean
You told
there's
me it was infinite
it's
before.
huge,
Yeah.
and I don't know what's beyond the end of the universe, but I've read that it's
would be a
not
great sci-fi
infinite.
title.
What?
Beyond the end of the universe.
Yeah, I mean, because I've read that and I'm like, well,
The abyss.
I mean, that's still space. I mean,
Is
it a wall?
No, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be the void of. It's almost like the edges of the universe would have to be like black holes or something.
Yeah.
Like anti.
Right. Well,
space.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That could be.
Because otherwise, there is.
It is infinite.
Yeah. And you also would never be able to know if there's nothing. If you keep going further.
Like, I don't know how they can make that assertion regarding such a universe. They can't. I mean, if you look at some of the stars towards like the end of the universe in any direction, it's 30,000 or 300 million light years away.
You think they make
So
that
what
shit
they're
up?
seeing, if they're and apparently they can see it, or maybe not. It happened 300 million years ago.
Right?
I mean, that
The
star
amount
could have
of time.
supernovaed, and
Well, odds are it has, because
Well-
you know generally what the life of a star is.
yeah. Well, they're billions of years. Like our star is several billion years old. Probably 5 or 7 and a half, 7.5.
I was thinking something
Because
unique.
the universe supposedly started, I think it was 11 billion years ago.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it's like I don't know how to answer such a thing, but it's like, what if the world was much older than even they thought?
4.6 billion. Well, that's a good guess on my part.
I mean, how does that change anything?
What?
What if I told you the world was 1 trillion years old?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Other than, it...
It's I guess what's it called? The in comparison to everything else must also be old, if we are this old.
Well, I think, so the galaxy is estimated 13.8 billion years. With what's not Hubble, what's the name of that new
I don't know.
telescope?
Asking the wrong guy.
Come on, you were just talking about it.
Galileo. The thing
But anyway, they're finding things that they think that the universe is older than they had originally thought.
Yeah, well, also the Big Bang is very contentious too.
Yeah, what happened? What was before? Was there a universe that just
Imploded to cause.
to become a single point of infinite matter?
I mean, you would have to believe that it is cyclical. That
Over
universe.
a very, very long period. Yeah.
Yeah, that universes continue to expand and collapse over time. Yeah, we got way off track. My favorite conspiracies are Cuba conspiracies. Did I convince you of any of them?
No.
You convinced me of yours, so.
Yeah, I know.
What was the one you convinced me about? What was the one you brought
Remember
up?
the one you said? I can't remember.
Truman Show?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you on the flippity floop.
See ya.